You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Decisions.
Wait a minute. Are you still looking for cars on Carvana?
Yeah, decisions.
When I used Carvana, I found the exact car I was looking for in minutes. Bought it on the spot.
Electric or full diesel? Decisions.
Come on, you've been at it for weeks. Just buy it already.
You're right. Crossover it is. Decisions decided.
Whether you know exactly what you want or like to take your time, buy your car the convenient way with Carvana.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. If you're a smoker or dipper looking to make a change, you really only need one reason to do it. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you can find many. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch. It's made with only 6 simple ingredients. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Learn more about Zyn and find your reason to make a change by registering online at Zyn.com.
Shadow Show.
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 Shadowing it.
Stugotz, there are any number of ways where I have noticed that Chris is becoming his father. Chris Cody, I've known Chris Cody legitimately since he's like 5 years old, I'm going to say. It's around there. And to see him now come into the office and just say, Missoula is an odd cat. and totally accurate, like excellent,
right,
excellent analysis. But this is where he's like he's his father. And then I ask a follow-up like, oh, really? Elaborate. And that's all he had.
Yep.
He didn't have anything else about it. And I feel like it's how we all feel about Missoula, except for Celtics fans.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you're kiss the court guy. And when they ask you about, did you meet the royal family? You make it about, Jesus and Mary. You go super religious when you know that's not what they were asking you. What are you laughing about?
Because I said because Missoula's quote was the real royal family, and it made Roy laugh out loud.
Roy, you're just learning that Missoula did this when he was asked, did you meet the royal family? And then he acted totally confused. And then he said, well, how could I have met the royal family when it's Jesus and Mary? And you're just hearing this
Yes,
now,
it's
Roy.
the first time I've heard this. Yes.
He is an unusual cat and
an odd cat.
An odd cat. You know what?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That is a fine. I'm going to pay that fine.
I feel like you're good, but
Is he an odd cat or a strange bird?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a good question there.
Put it
I
on
like
the
strange bird.
Poll question.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, Juju. Missoula, odd cat or strange bird? Because what I'm here to tell you, and this part should horrify you, he's going to be Red Auerbach.
He's a fish out of water. How about that?
Oh, wow.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Stugotz is a little high energy today for a Wednesday because the NFL trade stuff has begun happening. Stugotz is very excited for DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, I mean, how could you not be excited for DeAndre Hopkins? I got to be honest with you, Dan. I liked it better when the Chiefs were doing it without a wide receiver. Yeah.
Okay, but what were your DeAndre Hopkins thoughts? Because you're excited because all of a sudden Max Crosby is with the Raiders and he's saying I'm silver and black. I don't want to go anywhere, but everybody wants to trade for him because of course you want a pass rusher. There are rumors out there of Stafford to the Vikings.
Oh wow!
I don't know how real that is.
Huh?
But we are headed toward 3 straight weeks of election talk.
Yay!
On this show?
Yeah. Well, we control that. We could talk about the NFL trade.
Really?
Yeah.
Exactly. How about this? How about we already capitulate because it doesn't look like it's going to break our way, and we just try to endear ourselves to the right.
What is the PTO policy again?
Michael Schmidt joining us at
the World Series October. Michael Jack Schmitz.
That's not
love that.
Good old Mike.
That's not the Michael Schmidt that's joining us.
What?
It's, the guy who,
What?
Yeah, he's a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner.
What's that?
I want to talk about Donald Trump being quoted in The Atlantic through anonymous sources of he wishes he had Hitler's generals.
Really?
Oh.
There was a couple things that I saw yesterday that weren't great, but, welcome our oblivion.
Like the Knicks?
So the only saving grace that we have in the next 3 weeks is that the NFL is going to be trading players.
It's literally all I have right now.
And the trade deadline is on Election Day itself.
Yeah, organically, I've become a big Baker stan. Therefore, I support the Tampa Bay Bucks. Monday night was really rough. If one thing can break my way on November 5th, it's Cooper Kupp to Tampa.
Is there a trade that could steal the headlines from the election on Election Day?
No.
Like a deadline deal?
Dude, that Stafford for Darnold thing that I saw is pretty crazy.
That would be bigger, Dan.
I would exchange more texts about that.
Sam Darnold trade would be bigger.
But if you thought Stugotz was merely excited about that, he's also excited because there is some nostalgia in play today. He saw the Griffies on the court last night, and Stugotz just got excited about being able to talk about a time. Now, unfortunately, also Fernando Valenzuela died. And, hey, Mike, Fernando Valenzuela died, and Stugotz wants to talk about that as well because it conjures Dodgers-Yankees 1981 for him.
You never really see QB1 for QB1 trades, but in Matthew Stafford's case, you'd see it twice with him.
Wow. Is Darnold QB1? Because
He's
it should have been
QB1.
J.J. McCarthy, but he got hurt. But you're right. I guess
He's
you're
QB1.
right.
And he was going to start the season
QB1.
QB1.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, you guys say that, but I was saying yesterday that Sam Darnold could go into the home playoff game after the bye 17-0, and I think he's losing at home to the 49ers. I'm just letting you know that that's something that I would bet right now is what would have happened if they hadn't lost last weekend and were still 6-0. I will not believe that Sam Darnold can win a Super Bowl.
We were throwing dirt on the San Francisco 49er grave yesterday. All right. We'll see what happens when they're like a 6.5-point underdog with Christian McCaffrey coming back.
Well, from whatever he did in Germany.
Oh, yeah, I don't trust that.
Whatever the turbocharge is. But before we get to any of that stuff, Stugotz, the reason, and I'm sorry I didn't do this earlier because Billy Gill, he can be pretty private, right? Pretty secretive.
Yep.
Me?
Yeah, we don't know. You hide in the shadows some. We don't know a lot about.
I'm here. I'm an open book.
He's a mystery.
I mean, feel free to ask.
Yeah, well, I'm about
to invest.
I'm about to because I'm surprised that you didn't tell us about this, and it was revealed in a news story to me. I thought Meadowlark Media should have been informed at some point that I don't know if you saw this, Stugotz, but the Shohei Ohtani ball went for the 50-50 ball here at Marlin Stadium for $4.39 million, and the only controversy around it is that there's an alleged 18-year-old in a lawsuit trying to get the ball, saying the ball was stolen from him. And when I say alleged 18-year-old, it's because Billy's been hiding that he was at the middle of that fight at that game to get that baseball, and it was taken from him, and now he's holding up. Look at all of this. Look at the video here of the ball being fought for, and you will see that Billy has video proof that we're just releasing exclusively now.
Look at him fighting for that ball.
He had the ball.
He had it.
Billy had the ball. He's got it right there, and the ball gets taken from him, and that's not a legal possession. That you're on your back there.
Well, there's a guy also upside down, pinned down by a chair.
He let it go. Why did he let it go? I mean, why did I let it go?
It is classic Billy just to be like, okay, it's yours. And then just kind of throw his hands up.
I mean, you got to bite the person or something, right?
You do.
What does a bite cost in a lawsuit?
Billy,
not $5 million, I wouldn't think.
How many people were at that game? It's just a value bet, Stugotz. Going there in the event that you might get that home run ball, that a lotto ticket's going to fall out of the sky, and a baseball that's worth more than any baseball ever is going to be in your hands, and then you're going to let it go because someone wants it more than you do.
I think all the people you're seeing in that video, that was the attendance at the game. They were all sitting in that section rooting, for a chance to get the Ohtani ball. Look at that guy's stomach.
I cannot get enough of the guy who is not involved in this at all. He didn't end up with the ball. His feet are up in the air.
He really got taken
His right
out.
arm is pinned by a chair.
But he's got a smile. I mean,
He is.
Yeah.
You're probably wondering how I ended up in this mess.
It would only be funnier if there was like a discarded wheelchair somewhere nearby. Because he does seem happy and delighted to be at what was a
He's in the mix.
A scrum.
It's a scrum.
It was a scrum, but it was a scrum for among people. Look. You've seen at minor league stadiums, like they'll put a helicopter over the field and then fart 500 singles on your single A team. These 9 people, including Billy, were fighting over $4.39 million. It's like the ultimate cash grab. And that guy, at the end of it, just got...
He jumps over a railing.
Look at him.
And
He's in the chair.
He somehow goes through the back of the chair and ends up underneath it with his right arm pinned under the chair, a grin on his face the entire time.
But look how close his hand is.
His hand is like reaching. It's pinned, but he's like, no.
So the 2 people who are fighting over the $4.39 million, and if it had been dual possession, they would have had to split it. That one hand in the corner was bronze medalist on getting to that. Greg Cody is right.
Yes.
To be the bronze medalist is always a failure because, look, that pathetic hand just reaching out, trying to get the 2 people, trying to grab the knee or the ankle of one of the 2 people who have the $4.39 million.
That guy should get $100K for effort.
He should.
He should. Yeah.
Honestly.
Yes. I mean,
If I got the full 4.3, I'm giving that guy $100K. Then I said it.
Trying to reach with the fingers. Look at that.
Yeah.
I think the story was the guy that ended up with the ball wasn't even really aware of the severity of the ball. Like, didn't know, like, this is so impactful. Didn't know he was at a game where baseball history was going to be set, but ended up with the ball, I believe was the story. The announced attendance here, I'm looking back at, like, the game notes, was 17,560. It was packed. The upper deck wasn't full. There were a lot of Dodgers fans. It was a weird start time. It was like a 5 o'clock start, 4 o'clock start in the afternoon, 4:40, something like that. So, you think about it, 17,500, right, is the announced attendance.
And you're also going to a game where you need him to hit 2 home runs and steal a base.
Well, and he hit it to the opposite field, right? So, like, you remove what, like 60% at least. It wasn't 40% of the crowd. So you're thinking there's probably 10,000 people of that.
But that was smart of you. That was smart of you to situate yourself there. Like you did all of that math in order to get that close to the baseball.
I was just trying to, have some fun, hang out with the boys as I do out at the hangout, whatever it's called under there, where formerly known as the Clevelander, where that's where the ball
What do they
ended up.
call it now? It used to be
I'll
the
get back to you on
Clevelander.
that.
Okay,
yeah.
so
we were just hanging out. We were just looking for a good time, a little
I
recess.
see a sign that says recess. I think it's called recess.
Something or other. Yeah, we were just there hanging with the boys, and things happen. I can't talk about this any further. I've been advised.
All right. I don't know how it is that this ended up happening.
It's an odd name for a bar, recess.
It is.
Why?
It's like recess implies kids.
Yeah.
School. Yes.
Oh, it's like a break.
Mm-hmm.
Break would be better than recess.
The break.
Break for kids.
I have no opinions on it.
I was thinking about this, and that's probably the closest I'll ever get to being a millionaire, right?
There's still a shot.
Like, actually, though. Because, you win a lottery, and your odds are not 1 in 17,500 at becoming a multimillionaire. Like, that was it. I missed it. I should have fought more.
Well, but you are right to do some of this math on there are only a few places the home runs can go. So it's not 1 of 17,000 aren't your odds. Really, the odds are, does he hit it to center, left, or right? And I would assume that left would be the least likely from the left-handed side, and that's why there are fewer people there. But really, this lottery ticket could have been split from, it's the odds could have been somewhere around 1 in 500, wouldn't you say, or 1 in 1,000?
No, probably 1 in, I don't know. What are we factoring in?
Just
The amount of people who are sitting in that section.
Billy, where the home runs go and the odds that 17,000 people aren't going to be sitting just behind those fences.
Well, he sprays it pretty much all over the place.
Yes.
So, like, because he's batting left-handed, you assume, let me go into, like, right field, upper deck right field around there. He hit 2 into right field. He happened to hit the one that was most valuable opposite field into the, left center, left field over there. It's probably like 1 in 3,000, realistically, that you would catch that ball.
And the going rate, Stugotz, how do you feel about a baseball going for $4.39 million, more than any baseball has ever gone for? You can't tell me the numbers don't matter in the sport when that happens.
Well, it depends what someone wants to pay for it. That's the value, right? If someone's willing to pay that much money, which I would not for a baseball, then that's the value of the ball. That's the most valuable baseball to be sold in baseball history, because I don't feel like that's the most valuable ball to be hit in baseball history. Do you?
What would be?
I mean, either Aaron's home run or Bonds' home run to break Aaron's record, or one of the McGuire Sosa home runs, something like that, I guess.
Shot. I heard on the Big Dog show this morning that before this ball, the most expensive ball ever sold was McGuire's 70th for like 3 point something.
That makes more sense to me. It does. Because at the time, that ball felt like the most important ball in the history of baseball. It did at the time.
It saved baseball.
It saved baseball, that ball. Yeah.
Steroids absolutely saved baseball, and then they changed the way everybody played, and now they all hit the ball as if they're on steroids, every one of them.
Maris family's still getting invited, though.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah.
It's October, so you know I'm going to get into that Halloween candy. But I don't want to look like the guy that was steal from Claire's trick-or-treat stash, which is why I'm exercising. And when I work out, I don't just drink water. I grab a stick of Liquid IV. Make sure you're at your best with Liquid IV's new hydration multiplier plus immune support mango passion fruit. With 5 times the daily value of vitamin C and 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, you can give your body the immune support it needs while treating yourself to a taste of the tropics. As I mentioned before, I drink Liquid IV for my workouts, and what I do is I get a stick of strawberry lemonade and I mix it with my water, and I put it in my freezer for a half hour right before I go to the gym. That way, it's icy cold for when I work out. Liquid IV's hydration multiplier plus immune system is scientifically formulated to support a healthy immune system. Try Liquid IV's tasty new flavor, Mango Passion Fruit, and immerse yourself in the tropical flavors of ripe sun-kissed mango combined with the luscious, tangy notes of exotic passion fruit. Tear, pour, live more. 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Support everyday wellness with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code DAN at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code DAN at liquidiv.com.
Don Le Batard.
Kiss me where you bruise me. Taste me on that fleshy part.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Taste me on that fleshy part.
Taste me, not touch me.
Taste me on that fleshy part.
Wow, Bruce.
Stugotz.
I'm talking about the clitoris. I'm talking about the clitoris. Yes, I am. Now we're out here riffing, and I'm gonna try to find it if I can.
Okay. Well, wonderful rendition.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Speaking of the Yankees, I want to play for you some sound here because, Stugotz, I had not seen this from the angle that Brian Cashman sees it. Mad Dog asked Brian Cashman, the most appropriately named general manager in the history of general managers. The Yankees have spent so much money and not gotten to where they are right now, 4 victories from in a while. And Mad Dog asked Cashman a question, and he took it to a place I wasn't expecting, but it's how history gets rewritten in silly ways that get forgetful.
Give me your thoughts here of finally getting back and winning a pennant after a 15-year, I don't want to say drought, that's not fair, but you understand what I'm saying with the gap. How about winning the pennant? How does that mean to you? Let me hear.
It means a lot, and I hate the 15-year thing because it completely forgets and discounts that some other organization cheated us when we were all the way in the end. If you knew what was going on, I don't think they would be advancing at that during that time thing. I think we would have been advancing. So I hate that 15-year thing because I don't think it accurately reflects history.
He's right. He has a personal record book. I like that.
It's totally fair.
Love
too.
that.
Which organization is he talking about?
It's such a fair thing to say, but the record books will only show Astros forever. Like, even if you put asterisks on it, you can't take away the fact that Cashman's going to go to the grave being bitter about that. That's not something that you get over when, hey, they got caught cheating. What? We lose anyway? What? They cheated. That's I liked the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix that Bill Simmons and his team did, at least in part because of how ever-present the thread was throughout the tapestry of, Vince McMahon as a human being is like, you absolutely cheat to win. All that matters is that you win. Like, absolutely cheat. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to win.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying, Dan.
And it's, a source of a great many immoralities throughout the fabric of America. Michael Schmidt will join us later in the show.
October.
To talk about, I don't want to normalize the stuff going on with Adolf Hitler. Like, I don't. I don't want to just make jokes around here about sports over the next 3 weeks because we're scared, right? Everybody, I don't even, whichever side you're on, you're scared, right? Everybody's just bouncing against each other, scared on what's going to happen in 3 weeks, either way, wherever it is you are.
Going back to resignation, which is where I occupied for most of the year. And then I kind of worked myself up after the candidates changed to think that it had a shot. So now I'm just going to go back to seeing if we can hang on for a second.
All right, so you're going to just put your expectations at medium so that you're less disappointed. It's a good management technique.
The way to do it.
Those were the worst 4 years of my life in terms of daily triggers. There would always be something on the internet that President Trump did that would kind of really affect my day. So I'm trying to manage my expectations and hope that the American foundations of democracy are strong enough to withhold another 4 years.
It's so much more overt and desperate than it was then because we are, and this part is hugely uncomfortable and also obvious, Trump, wherever he is on the stage of delirium that would infect anybody if for a long time now, no matter how nuts they are, they're being pounded with the idea that your choices are you could be king of America by knocking down democracy and changing all the rules on how all of this is done, or you can die in prison. Are you going to keep pressing the gas on all the stuff that used to make this a better hidden clown car, but now turns it into a monster truck and you don't know which direction it's going to go in? And very few people are willing to drive it. This guy just trampled Chris Christie and a whole bunch of people, a bunch of losers in the Republican Party with a monster truck, and the only other one willing to drive it because it'll either blow up in your face or you'll have all the power is Elon Musk. He's the other one who's willing to drive the monster truck, but it's more overt. Like wherever it is that Dennis Quaid is doing the Reagan movies that get 18% from the critics, but 98% from Rotten Tomatoes because there's a movement on the internet to change how you look at everything you're seeing, where you can't believe anything. You're going to get ball sacked every day. I'm going to get ball sacked.
So we're not saving this for Schmidt, huh? Michael Jack?
Did you know that Cooper Kupp once held Zach LaVine to 4 points in a high school basketball quarterfinal?
I don't believe it.
No. Yeah, that's what he told Matthew Stafford on a podcast.
Really?
Yeah. I was watching that while Dan was talking.
Stafford to the Vikings? Stafford to the Vikings?
What about
I can't entertain that. You can't do that to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's played so well.
He's played very well.
Yeah, he really has.
Played very well.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Hey, Stafford won a Super Bowl, but we were talking in the bullpen. Goff is a nice little extra juice kind of play for NFL MVP. He's been really good this year. Is it possible that the team that didn't win the Super Bowl, Stafford won a Super Bowl, and usually that's the ultimate, okay, they won that trade.
The Lions won the war. Yeah.
The war's not over, and I'd be careful with that terminology in general.
Well,
Stafford.
I mean, yeah, we've done a great job staying away from rhetoric so far this segment.
Stafford to the Lions would be interesting. I'm sorry, Stafford to the Vikings would be interesting for a number of different reasons. But what you're saying about Jared Goff, over the last month, he's been the best quarterback statistically you will ever see in terms of completion percentage and passer rating. When they do the metrics on how he's played over the last 4 months, the list is 1 of 1 on who's played the way he has statistically for the last month.
Over the last 4 weeks.
But it's also his numbers against pressure are insane. Like, pressure's supposed to be the thing that changes everything, but they're doing the Tua model of get everything out fast. He's mastered it. The number of reps that they have with a lot of skill position talent from a lot of losing for many years, and a coach in Man Campbell that we mock down here. Jared Goff has reinvented himself for that guy's not quarterback whisperer. That guy's bite your kneecaps. Jared Goff has turned into a quarterback that is former first-round pick, and also the system around him is perfect, and he appears to have mastered it if the thing that would normally torpedo him, which is interceptions, what are those numbers against pressure? Like, those numbers against pressure are something you do not see ever statistically, Stugotz. Nobody's that good against pressure.
It was especially impressive this past week against the Vikings, who get pressure better than anybody.
Against Flores,
The first drive, you kind of saw them get to him, and then they made the adjustments, and then they were moving the ball on the Vikings the rest of the game.
Ben Johnson's a really good offensive coordinator. They have a ton of weapons. Jamison Williams is now going to serve a 2-game suspension for PEDs. That one tracked. Given what I've seen from him so far this season, rare the occasion where I see something like that. I'm like, yeah, even though this guy's rail thin, this one makes sense because he's just got an extra gear once he gets going in the open field.
What you guys just did on Not Fair to Sam Darnold, like in a cutthroat league where you get better if you can get better, the Vikings feel like they're pretty close to being Super Bowl ready.
But do they feel like they could do it with Sam Darnold?
Right. But at this stage in their careers, Dan, I would concede that Matthew Stafford's probably an upgrade right now, and if all things are even, gives you a better chance to win a Super Bowl, but all things aren't even. He would have to go into a new system. You disrupt an offense that's kind of humming right now, and I don't know the locker room dynamics. I think Matthew Stafford's pretty well liked, but I don't know Sam Darnold's leadership qualities. I don't know what that does to the locker room. I think it's way too risky, and Stafford isn't that much better than Darnold is.
Okay, and you say that, and I would say to you, and what is also risky is Tomlin taking a 4-2 team and changing quarterbacks because he's in charge and he knows what better looks like better than we know what better looks like. And when you say Stafford is an upgrade, what I say to you is, man, Stafford looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league when Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are healthy, but what would he look like with Justin Jefferson, you think? Because Sam Darnold hasn't looked good anywhere until he's had Justin Jefferson, who appears to be the kind of game changer that gets number one wide receivers to distort the entire pay scale because they're more valuable than everybody else.
If you're asking the question, would Stafford give the Vikings a better chance of winning the Super Bowl this year than Sam Darnold? It's pretty hard to say no, Mike. Like, I think Stafford would give them a better chance.
You want to go all in on this year. I don't think that's a roster construction.
But you have JJ next year.
You look at Jefferson, you look at some of their impact players, the Vikings can be in this conversation for years on end, and Sam Darnold is like younger than Joe Burrow. So why would I understand Stafford, if he acclimates, it's an upgrade over Sam Darnold this year. And if you want to just go all in on an NFC that with the injuries at San Francisco you feel is more wide open, fine. But I think Minnesota can hang around with Sam Darnold for quite some time.
If you have made the decision that Sam Darnold is going to be your quarterback long term, then you stick with Sam Darnold. But if you're saying to yourself, I'm going to go to J.J. McCarthy next year, then you go with Matthew Stafford this year.
Hang around with Sam Darnold, a slogan we can live by, as there are 5 good NFL teams, and they'll get hurt before the end.
But they signed Sam Darnold to 1 year. They know he's not the long-term solution.
Well, no, Mike just made him one. You don't trade for Matt Stafford because
Stafford creates a new problem for you because he's signed to a longer-term deal. And if J.J. McCarthy's your guy now, what do you do with him?
Well, here's the funnier part about this. I have no idea if any of this is real because it comes from a rumor from an account that I'm pretty sure was bought by others, but they can't admit it's a football aggregation account that's been bought. So we just talked about this for 4 minutes, and I have no idea if it's real.
Yes!
Hey everyone, it's Mike Ryan. We here at the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz are excited to partner with Miller Lite to let you, our loyal audience, play along with one of our most popular segments we have, Weekend Observations, presented by Miller Lite. On October 21st, you will be able to go to DraftKings.com in order to make guesses on what will happen during the Weekend Observations segment on Tuesday, October 29th. How many beeps will there be? Will Stugotz swear? Who will be the first person to interrupt Stu? Oh, the winner? Yeah, the winner gets a trip for you and a guest to come to Miami and hang out with us at Flanagan's for a Thursday night football game on November 21st. Oh, and you get to see a taping of the show. Make sure you go to DraftKings and play free to win. And then Tune into the show and check how you did. Look forward to seeing you. Or not, since only one of you will win. But the one that does, it's going to be fun. Make sure to enter. Must be 21 plus to enter. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA is finally back, and a new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time, new DraftKings customers bet just $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN, that's code DAN, D-A-N, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
Don Le Batard.
I read his lips, and it sounded like he was saying, what? You want to fight me now?
But I'm telling you, if you look, we can play a game right now. The lips look the same on Fight You and Failure. Watch my lips. I'm going to turn off my mic.
No,
I'm going to send one of these two, and I want you guys to tell me if I'm saying Fight You or Failure.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Stugotz.
Why are your ideas always so bad for the podcast?
Audio.
Big swings, Greg.
Is this a character you have now?
Theater of the mind,
Just for the audio.
All right, here we go. Do it again.
No.
Fight You.
That was fight.
All right, maybe you can tell.
Oh my God!
We got to the bottom of it.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Jeremy has written in, and it's not because he wants to talk baseball. He says, I'm truly looking forward to ruining all the real progress I've made with the audience over the last several months by being the one person who actually wants to discuss our Nazi wannabe presidential candidate. Down the middle, Chris is just nodding like Eli Manning listening to Ed Reed.
What goodwill has he built?
I don't know. I don't know what he's done over the last month. He thinks he's created goodwill. I don't see it either. I don't. So I think
it's his goodwill. I mean,
I'm just taking in all the information, still deciding.
Yes. Okay. So Michael Schmidt is with us.
October.
I am long on the record of like you got to kind of take sides right now. Okay. I mean, like you can't be on the fence.
Just taking it all in, Dan.
You can't be on the fence this late in the game. And Michael Schmidt is doing real journalism out there. He's he's won 2 Pulitzer Prizes, and he comes from sports. And he recently interviewed Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly. This is 3 times on the record, on tape. This is not AI. And let's play this sound here for the people. That is the Cashman sound. That is not what I need right there. That is clearly.
Give me your thoughts here.
Yeah, that is Brian
Michael Jack.
Cashman.
I would like Michael Jack Schmidt's opinions on that Cashman.
So video. When I tell you video before the segment, I'm going to the fascism clip. It's not Brian Cashman, and it's not Mad Dog.
I can understand the confusion, though.
Yeah. So this man is a very big professional here. Michael Schmidt, he does good journalism. We do not. Let's play the correct sound, please.
What do you think? Do you think he's a fascist?
Well, I'm looking at the definition of fascism. It's a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy. So certainly, in my experience, those are the kind of things that he thinks would work better in terms of running America.
You know what, Lewis? I failed you here, and I failed Michael Schmidt as well. You had it right the first time.
Yep.
Let me ask Michael Schmidt, who used to cover the Mets and the Yankees, for his opinion on this sound, please.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your thoughts here of finally getting back and winning a pennant after a 15-year, I don't want to say drought, that's not fair, but you understand what I'm saying with the gap. How about winning the pennant? How does that mean to you? Let me hear.
It means a lot, and I hate the 15-year thing because it completely forgets and discounts that some other organization cheated us when we were all the way in the end. If you knew what was going on, I don't think they would be advancing at that during that time thing. I think we would have been advancing. So I hate that 15-year thing because I don't think it accurately reflects history.
Michael Jack Schmidt, you are October, sir. Go ahead and tackle whichever one of those you want.
All I ever wanted as a kid was to be Mad Dog. I grew up on Mad Dog, and it was a really important part of my childhood. Like, if I could have taken callers for a living as a sports talk radio host, like, I would have done that. I went to the Mad Dog reunion with my friends at Radio City Music Hall. I got to go on Mad Dog's show when I had this mini biography of John Kelly that came out. I love the guy. I love him to death. And he said some really nice things about me that I always send to my friends, even my friends who never pay attention to anything that I do. Yep. And, Mike and the Mad Dog were so important.
Is that what you meant to hit there, Chris? That's
Michael Jack. That wasn't the question. I mean,
yes, it was the question.
Well, it was his thoughts on what Cashman said.
What he's saying is basically he's a super fan. Like, he is somebody. Right. Yeah. You're talking about. Look, Mad Dog's following is immense, and what you're alleging right now is you're among people qualified to identify as his number one fan. Correct?
Correct. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And I'm sorry I answered the question the wrong way. I could see all your faces being so disappointed.
No, I love that, Michael. That answer was so much better than what I wanted, and anything you would have said about fascism.
But the Astros.
But the Astros also cheated.
Yeah, it's all right. So John Kelly, or what do you want to do?
No. What did you think?
Yours.
You covered the Mets and the Yankees, and you're somebody who writes a lot about cheating scandals.
The thing that I think that missed in terms of cheating scandals was the seriousness that MLB actually took the Mets disabled list cheating scandal. People didn't think it was a big deal because it was a disabled list, and they said everybody did it. But in reality, Manfred was much more fired up about it than people thought. And they were really digging around to figure out what Steve Cohen knew about it. And if Steve Cohen really knew, they were very skeptical of that. And I think that the sports media didn't take it as seriously, certainly as I was being told they were taking it.
Also, not an answer to the question that I asked you, which is Cashman bringing up cheating there when talking about a 15-year Yankee drought, and everyone just sort of forgetting that they were beaten by an Astros team that was cheating.
Look, he's got a point. It's like, you can't sort of look away from it. I mean, it's his best argument. The guy takes a ton of crap here in New York, a ton of crap. And if you look at the record of the best teams in baseball since 2000, the Yankees have the best record almost by far out of every team in baseball. But every Yankee fan just complains and complains and complains. Mm-hmm. And as a Mets fan, it's like incredibly infuriating. Like, we made the playoffs. That's a huge deal for us. And these Yankee fans who like are in the playoffs every year except for last year, just going on and on about this. My colleague Mark Mazzetti, one of the best reporters at the time, just constantly complaining about these things. And all the Yankees have done is had the best record in all of baseball since 2000. And that's like you talk about sample size, whatever the nonsense is that these front office guys say. Like, that's a pretty big sample size.
The Astros obviously get the reputation as the cheaters, but the Yankees also got caught cheating, and that whole investigation was just swept under the rug, and then they sealed the documents and never released them. So we never really got to the bottom of what actually was going on with the Yankees in that time as well.
Well, that's the whole Apple Watch story. I wrote the Apple Watch story about the Red Sox, but then the Yankees get caught with the same thing, and MLB kind of, was able to move past that pretty quickly. We never really got a full sense of what was going on with the Apple Watch and this, and that kind of stuff. But, I guess That's baseball. That's what makes it interesting. Cheating is part of the game.
You're right. Yep.
Fernando Valenzuela, timely passing.
Fernando
Sad news.
Mania.
Yeah.
Oh,
rest in
man.
power.
Yeah.
Headed into the World Series. I mean, unfortunate. Is this what, the Dodgers are going to rally behind now, maybe? Win one for Fernando?
I don't know. I just watched every Mets-Dodgers game, and it's amazing with Ohtani leading off. He's constantly up. It's like as if he hits like once every 5 batters. Like he's just every time you turn around, he is up. It's this very I don't know how it is, but every time you turn around, he's at the plate, and it just changes the dynamic of the game. Like it took baseball so long to figure out to put the best hitter first, but it completely upended the Mets because once they're getting to the bottom of the lineup, they're worried about Ohtani, and then next thing you know, he's already on base.
I guess it's a timely passing if you take into account the election is right around the corner.
He doesn't answer any of the questions
Not a
we're
single
asking.
one.
That's why he's the best in the business. I mean,
Michael,
You guys gonna kick
Fernando
me off?
Mania.
Am I disappointing you here? I can't.
No,
tell.
you're not.
No,
you're
great.
exceeding expectations
it's
somehow.
wonderful.
Michael, Jack, you knock it off.
It's one. Look, first, did you see how we interrupted you? We are not a professional operation around here. I've just been sort of amazed listening to you that you're great at the giving of sports radio because you learned from Mad Dog, but you're not answering any of our questions. You're just giving us your opinions on things.
This is my chance to play, sports talk radio host. I've been waiting my entire life for this.
Okay.
I used to wake up in the middle of the night when I was a kid and listen to WFAN at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I kept it on all night. So, this is more important to me than anything else that's going on.
Dan, we should let him live out his dream.
Yes, Michael, this is what we're going to do, okay? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to let you. We're going to stop for a second, and then we're going to start a new segment, and you're going to start Michael Schmidt's radio show today. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Doggy.
I'm going to make you do it, and I'm going to make you do what would have been your opening monologue, first 30 seconds. What are you shaking your head at me for?
We'll just do John Kelly. We'll just do John Kelly.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, he ran scared. He ran scared from the spotlight.
It was an ambitious idea, Dan. Very ambitious.
It's his dream.
It's not harder than it
You
looks.
could do
Look
it.
at this clown car I'm operating here. What do you mean it's harder than it looks?
He spit out his coffee.
But look, what are you talking about? You would be very good at it. You've just proven. But what you're saying is I'm a better guest than a host. You're a better caller than a host.
Yeah, I'm just a caller. I'm Mike Schmidt in New York. That's it.
Mike on a mobile.
Okay.
I waited my whole life for this.
What about the joke that Mike Ryan is making there where he's saying the next 3 weeks are going to be a special kind of awful? Because let's play that sound again, people, because I don't want to just skip past it. This is Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, on the record.
What do you think? Do you think he's a fascist?
Well, I'm looking at the definition of fascism. It's a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy. So certainly, in my experience, those are the kind of things that he thinks would work better in terms of running America.
Is that a valuable Mickey Mantle card behind you?
Is it?
I think it is.
Is that? Wait a minute. How much is that card worth?
What is that?
This is my stepson's Mike Piazza card.
Not the same.
These are baseballs that he hit.
Right.
And then actually, I'll show you one. I'll actually show you one thing. So my career started at the Times. My first job was doing what was called Steinbrenner Duty.
Ooh.
And in Steinbrenner Duty, I was sent to the Yankee game. I sat in the press box until the 8th inning, and then I was sent downstairs to stand with the tabloid reporters as Steinbrenner came out to get a quote from Steinbrenner because it was so important what he had to say. And I would stand there and I would get this quote and I would run it back upstairs to the beat writer. And that's how my career at the Times started. That was the first assignment that I had, and I took it as seriously as I could, and I loved it, to death. And the most favorite thing that
He's getting up now.
out of all of this is when I was a kid, my father and his friend Michael Stern were at this fancy steakhouse in New York called Ben Benson's, and Steinbrenner was there, and they went up and he signed a bill to my sister and I, and he said, to Molly and Michael, best wishes from their Yankee friend, George Steinbrenner. And it's just a special thing to me because that's how my career started. My career started waiting outside Yankee Stadium with tabloid reporters getting quotes because we were so afraid at the times about what Steinbrenner would say when he came out. And if that was going to be the back page of one of the tabloids, then we needed to have that quote in our story.
Is that Flonase over your other shoulder? Like a celebrity give you that, or you just under the weather that time of year?
I have allergies.
Way to go, Billy. Way to go, Billy. You shamed the man into admitting something. Look, you're laughing at me.
Well, of course he is.
It was comedically
that time
perfect.
Of year,
that delivery was perfect.
Bada boom, sold. Huh? Just sold my car on Carvana. Dropping it off and getting paid today.
Already?
What, you still haven't sold yours? You told me about it months ago.
Is
the offer good?
Oh, the offer's great.
Don't have another car yet?
I could trade it in for this car I love.
Come on, what are we waiting for?
You're right.
Let's go.
Whether you're looking to sell your car right now or just whenever feels right, go to Carvana.com and sell your car the convenient way. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everyone, it's Mike Ryan. We here at the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz are excited to partner with Miller Lite to let you, our loyal audience, play along with one of our most popular segments we have, Weekend Observations, presented by Miller Lite. On October 21st, you will be able to go to DraftKings.com in order to make guesses on what will happen during the Weekend Observations segment on Tuesday, October 29th. How many beeps will there be? Will Stugotz swear? Who will be the first person to interrupt Stu? Oh, the winner? Yeah, the winner gets a trip for you and a guest to come to Miami and hang out with us at Flanagan's for a Thursday night football game on November 21st. Oh, and you get to see a taping of the show. Make sure you go to DraftKings and play free to win. And then tune into the show and check how you did. Look forward to seeing you. Or not, since only one of you will win. But the one that does, it's going to be fun. Make sure to enter. Must be 21 plus to enter. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.